Welcome back to our channel. You know that old is gold, but these coins that are most valuable. You are lucky if you have one of these. Please watch complete video. Let's start this. What if I told you a single quarter from 1982, yes, 25 cents, recently sold for $945,000. And guess what? There could be one just like it in your pocket, your closet, or your coin jar right now. Sound crazy? Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll know how to tell if you're holding a small fortune or just spare change. Our story begins in 1982, a recession year. When gas was under $1, Thriller was topping the charts, and the US Mint made a decision that would unintentionally mint millionaires decades later. In 1982, the US Mint stopped stamping dates and mint marks on some proof coins. That year, they switched from 90% silver coins to primarily copper-nickel. But some rare error coins were accidentally struck using silver planchets, metal blanks meant for different denominations. Enter the 1982 D Washington quarter, struck in Denver. Only a handful are known to exist. One of them was recently authenticated and valued at $945,000. That's not a myth. That's on record. Now, before you raid your couch cushions, let me ask, when's the last time your spare change could pay off your mortgage and your kids' college? Here's the scary part. Most people spend these rare quarters without ever knowing it. Some of them might have already been lost forever in vending machines, soda fountains, or even worse, laundry machines. Tragic. But what exactly makes these quarters so special? And how can you tell if you've got one? Buckle up. Act 2 is where it gets real. Let's dive into the anatomy of this quarter. The 1982 D coin has a few telltale signs that separate it from the billions of ordinary ones out there. Regular quarters weigh 5.67 grams. The silver error version weighs around 6.25 grams. Pro tip: a cheap jewelry scale could change your life. Look just above the R in quarter dollar for the D mark, indicating Denver Mint. Check the coin's edge. No copper ring equals possible silver planchet. Flick it. Silver has a distinct, high-pitched ring. If you have one of these in mint or near-mint condition, you're not holding a coin, you're holding a ticket to a new lifestyle. I'm talking upgraded home, early retirement, beachfront mornings, no boss. And yes, before you ask, if your 1982 D quarter was in a kid's piggy bank, it's time to have the talk about who really owns it. But before you go digging through your sock drawer, you need to know how to authenticate it. Because fakes are everywhere. The market is booming, but so is the risk of getting scammed. You need more than wishful thinking. You need verification. Send your coin to a reputable grading service. PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Get it certified and graded. The difference between a $10 coin and a $945,000 one? Usually condition and authenticity. The market won't wait forever. As more of these quarters get discovered and authenticated, prices might go down. That's why now is the time to check your stash. Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers Private Collector's Bay. Only if you know what you're doing. This isn't a garage sale. Let's be real. Don't expect to walk into a pawn shop and get handed a check for $1 million. But go in with the right proof, and you might just walk out with life-changing money. You might be sitting on forgotten wealth, one coin away from a new life, one quarter away from retiring early, paying off debt, or finally taking that dream vacation you've been putting off for 20 years. Check your change. Open that old drawer. Pull out your dad's coin collection. Because while others are scrolling TikTok or Netflix, you could be unearthing a $945,000 secret. And here's the twist. You thought this 1982 D was rare? There are even more valuable coins that no one talks about. In our next video, we'll reveal a penny, yes, 1 cent, that sold for over $1.7 million. Subscribe, hit the bell, and don't miss out. Want to know if your coin is valuable? Drop a comment with your coin's year and mint mark below. And if this video sparked something in you, hope, curiosity, or just a little greed, give it a like and share it with someone you care about. After all, they might be holding treasure too. We're uncovering how a simple coin minted over 30 years ago could unlock a fortune that changes your life. Black and white vintage footage of 90s coin minting. with occasional slow zoom on the 1993p coin. Let's rewind the clock to 1993. Bill Clinton just entered the White House. Jurassic Park ruled the box office, and somewhere in the Philadelphia Mint, a coin was born. But not just any coin. Most 1993 quarters? Totally ordinary. But a rare few were struck with high-grade silver content, near-flawless design, and a now notorious P mint mark that sets them apart. These coins were never meant to be special. They were just happy accidents. Kind of like pineapple on pizza. Nobody asked for it. But hey, some people love it. Coin experts soon discovered something fascinating. These quarters had die varieties, minting anomalies, and unmatched condition quality that made them wildly valuable. But here's the shocking part. One of these 1993 P quarters just sold for $685,000 at a private auction. And it wasn't owned by a millionaire. It was found in an old sock drawer that don't leave just yet, because coming up, I'll tell you exactly what to look for and how to know if your coin is the jackpot. Close-ups of 1993 P quarters with animations showing errors, conditions, and features. Okay, so what makes one 1993 P quarter worth more than $500,000? And another one worth, well, 25 cents. Mint mark P. These coins were minted in Philadelphia, denoted by the P on the obverse side. Subtle but critical. Silver content versus clad. Most 1993 quarters were clad, but a few rare misprints were minted on leftover 90% silver planchets. Likely by mistake. If your 1993 P quarter weighs around 6.25 grams instead of the usual 5.67, you've struck silver. Condition and grading only quarters in MS66 or above. That's mint state condition. Fetch top dollar. MS67? You're already in the thousands. MS68 or above. Now you're brushing six figures and beyond. Basically, if your coin looks like it never left grandma's velvet drawer, you're in business. Errors and die varieties, double dies, weak strikes, and reeded edge anomalies are all golden tickets. Some errors are so rare, they only exist on one or two coins. Globally that's so. How do you sell a coin like this without getting ripped off? Because trust me, there are dealers out there licking their chops to snatch your fortune for pennies. That I'll show you exactly how to protect your investment. Right after this. Wealth Lifestyle Montage. Man reviewing coin under magnifier, family traveling, modern home, financial freedom. Imagine cashing in a single quarter and walking away with enough to pay off your home, take your dream vacation, or even retire early. People just like you, viewers from the US between 30 and 65, are finding these coins in pocket change, junk drawers. Inherited collections. Estate sales don't clean the coin. Ever. It destroys value. Weigh it on a digital scale. Silver coins weigh more. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Connect with a certified coin dealer or auction house like Heritage Auctions. Warning. If someone offers you $50 for your silver quarter run, like it's a telemarketer with your grandma's phone number. But wait, what if I told you this isn't the only coin in circulation worth over $500,000? There's one even rarer than the 1993 P quarter. And people are literally spending it by accident. Subscribe now and turn your pocket change into prosperity. Drop a comment below if you think you have one of these coins or want help identifying your collection. Because this isn't just about coins, it's about freedom, legacy, and the wealth that might be hiding right in your own home. Fade out with soft instrumental music. Visual, subscribe button animation. Let me know if you'd like the voiceover timing sheet, stock footage suggestions, or a version tailored for TikTok or Instagram Reels. Imagine finding an old coin in your kitchen drawer and realizing it's worth more than your house. In 1995, a small number of George Washington silver quarters were minted with a P mint mark and a secret. Today, one of these coins, if in pristine condition, is valued at over $785,000. Wait, before you go flipping your couch cushions, stay with me, because not every quarter is going to buy you a Lambo. But what if yours could? This isn't just about coins. This is about legacy. And you're about to discover whether the change in your pocket could change your life. I'm talking about the 1995 P mint George Washington silver quarter dollar, and why coin collectors, dealers, and even high-end auction houses are scrambling to find them. And later in this video, I'll reveal how one man turned a 25-cent coin into nearly $800,000 without even knowing what he had. Let's rewind to 1995. Bill Clinton was president. eBay was born, and the U.S. Mint quietly released a batch of silver Washington quarters, unlike any others. Here's where things get interesting. Most 1995 quarters were made with a copper-nickel blend, but a rare few, minted in Philadelphia, marked with a P, were mistakenly struck on 90% silver planchets. What's a planchet? Think of it like a coin before it hits puberty. It's flat, awkward, and full of potential. These silver quarters should never have made it into circulation, but they did, and those that survived, they're now numismatic gold mines. In fact, one recently authenticated 1995 P silver quarter sold at auction for $785,000 due to its flawless condition, rarity, and high silver purity. This isn't hearsay. These are verified auction results from major houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers. And here's the kicker. Experts believe there are still dozens, maybe hundreds, of these coins hiding in plain sight, in drawers, jars, even vending machine trays. So how do you know if you've got one? We'll get there. But first, let me show you how one forgotten coin changed a family's life forever. Meet James Carter, retired Navy vet, grandfather of 5, found a dusty old quarter in a shoebox while helping his daughter move. He noticed something different. The coin had a mirror-like finish, felt heavier, and that little P mint mark. That was the million-dollar detail. He almost gave it to his grandson for a gumball. Instead, he took it to an appraiser. The result? A certified 1995 P silver quarter, auctioned for $784,850. Suddenly, that shoebox looked more like a safety deposit box. Today, James owns a lakeside home, debt-free. His grandkids? College tuition paid. And all because he took one simple step. He got his coin evaluated. So what's your excuse for not checking that jar of quarters? Pull out any 1995 quarters you have. Check for the P mint mark. Look for silver shine and weigh it. A genuine silver quarter weighs about 6.25 grams. Consult a professional appraiser or submit it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Yes, it takes a little effort. But would you put 15 minutes of work between you and $785,000? And here's the real twist. There's another quarter even rarer than the 1995 P that just sold for over $1.2 million. But that's a story for next time. You're not just holding a quarter. You might be holding a future, a freedom, a fortune. So look again, because the road to wealth doesn't always start with $1 million check. Sometimes, it starts with a 25-cent coin. We're talking about a 25-cent piece, the kind you used to buy gum with in 1985. Turns out, it could now buy you a house in Malibu. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot a coin worth nearly $1 million, and how to turn your dusty change into generational wealth. Let's rewind to 1980. Reagan was campaigning, disco was fading, and millions of quarters were being minted in Philadelphia. Among them was a peculiar anomaly at a small batch of George Washington silver quarters. Yes, silver was mistakenly produced with the 1980 P mint mark. But here's the kicker. How did silver coins end up in circulation after 1964, when silver was supposedly phased out? That's part of the mystery that's captivating coin experts and treasure hunters today. Some believe these quarters were part of an experimental test strike. Others say they were slipped out by mint workers as collector's items. Either way, they weren't supposed to exist. Now, imagine tossing that into a vending machine. You might have just thrown away $500,000. So, why is this 1980 silver quarter worth so much? Let's break it down. Only a few of these silver quarters with the P mint mark are known to exist. Less than 20 have surfaced, and of those, only a handful are in pristine condition. Unlike standard 1980 quarters made of copper-nickel, these are believed to be struck on leftover 90% silver planchets, the same kind used before 1965. That's a huge deal in the collector's world. A certified MS 1967 or higher example of this quarter recently sold for $975,000 at auction. Why? Because serious collectors will pay serious money for something almost no one else can find. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've got a jar full of quarters. Am I rich? Maybe, maybe not. But unless you look, you'll never know. And time is not on your side. As word spreads, more people are checking their change. The best coins are being snatched up, slabbed, and locked away in private collections forever. Here's what you need to do right now to see if you're sitting on a fortune. Check the date and mint mark. Look for the year 1980 and the P mint mark just beside George Washington's ponytail. Test the metal. A silver coin will have a solid silver edge, no copper stripe. A small magnet test can help too. Silver isn't magnetic. Get it graded. If it looks suspiciously shiny or feels heavier than usual, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. Could be the smartest $50 you'll ever spend. But wait, what if you've already spent it? What if your $1 million coin is in a parking meter or someone else's collection jar right now? That's the reality. These coins are disappearing fast. But if you act now and check your quarters today, you might just find the one coin that changes your life. Because let's be real, retirement isn't getting cheaper. And no one wants to be Googling cheap RV parks in Arizona at 70. Imagine paying off your mortgage, sending your kids to college, or finally taking that trip to Italy. All from one tiny piece of metal you forgot you even had. You now know the story, the mystery, and the path to potentially life-changing wealth. Now it's time to act. Go check your coin jars, your drawers, your glove box. Like this video if you learned something valuable. Subscribe and turn on notifications. We're revealing more rare coins in upcoming videos that could make you a millionaire. The fortune you're searching for might be in the palm of your hand. Don't let it slip through your fingers. What if I told you that a single quarter sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, just 25 cents turning into $945,000. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, don't blink. Because today, I'm revealing the truth behind the legendary 1967 no mint mark George Washington quarter and why it might be the key to your dream lifestyle. It was an ordinary day in Oregon when a retired mechanic stumbled upon an old quarter in his father's war chest. Tarnished, overlooked, and almost thrown away, until one detail caught his eye. There was no mint mark. What happened next? A simple online check led him down a rabbit hole that ended at a six-figure auction. Now here's the kicker. He wasn't even a collector. He just trusted his gut and took a closer look. Lesson here: sometimes your gut knows more than Google, except when it tells you to eat gas station sushi. So what made his quarter so valuable? Why did collectors go wild at auction? And how can you tell if you have one of these rare coins hiding in plain sight? Stick with me, because in just a moment, I'll show you exactly what to look for, down to the microscopic detail. Conflict, suspense, discovery, education. The 1967 George Washington quarter was minted during a turbulent time in U.S. history: civil unrest, the Vietnam War, and the U.S. Mint removing mint marks to deter collectors. That's right. No Philadelphia, no Denver, no San Francisco mint marks. But not all quarters were created equal. A select few escaped the minting process with rare flaws: misstrikes, planchet errors, and an ultra-rare silver composition. That's where the magic happens. What makes it worth $945K? One of these flawed 1967 quarters was recently appraised at a jaw-dropping $945,000 due to its composition: a rare 90% silver content, unintended, and extremely valuable. Think of it like finding a Picasso painting behind your garage wall. You ever feel like your junk drawer could fund your retirement? Yeah, it just might. But here's the warning, and this is important. Fakes are everywhere. One wrong move, and you might pass up a life-changing fortune or fall into a scam trap. In a moment, I'll show you the fastest way to authenticate your quarter. No magnifying glass required. Here's what to look for in a 1967 no mint mark George Washington quarter worth top dollar. The rare silver versions weigh slightly more than standard clad coins: 6.25 grams versus 5.67. Look at the coin's edge. A solid silver color indicates possible silver composition, no copper streaks. Yes, really. Drop it on a hard surface. Silver coins produce a distinct ring, higher and purer sounding. A mint state coin, or one that's barely circulated, skyrockets in value. Right now, collectors are desperately searching for these coins, and values are only climbing as silver becomes more scarce. But the longer you wait, the harder they are to find. Don't clean it. This destroys collector value. Photograph both sides in good lighting. Contact a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Consider a heritage auction or a private collector, but always get multiple appraisals. And please, don't sell it to Bob's Pawn and Pizza. You're holding a six-figure asset, not a coupon for garlic knots. Here's the craziest part. There are still dozens of these quarters unaccounted for. In boxes, in jars, in attics, maybe even in your glove box right now. Will you be the next person to turn 25 cents into $945,000? Or will someone else find the gold? Because you didn't look. You don't need a lucky break. You just need awareness. Because wealth isn't always made. Sometimes, it's discovered. If you want to uncover more hidden million-dollar coins, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and check out our next video, 5 rare nickels worth over $100,000. You won't believe number 2. We're talking about a real 1981 P Mint Mark George Washington silver $quarter run that recently fetched $845,000, and there's speculation others may hit 7 figures soon. But not all of them are valuable. In fact, most aren't. So how do you know if yours is the gold mine? By the end of this video, you'll not only know what to look for, you'll know if you're sitting on a once-in-a-lifetime fortune. And trust me, you don't want to miss what I'm about to reveal. Let's rewind the clock to 1981. America was at a turning point. Inflation was soaring, interest rates were sky-high, and families everywhere were tightening their belts. But that same year, the U.S. Mint quietly produced a silver quarter unlike the rest. A coin that would one day become a collector's dream and a wealth builder's secret weapon. The 1981 George Washington quarter with a Philadelphia P Mint mark is often overlooked. But here's the kicker. While most were clad, a tiny number were struck on silver planchets. Something that was never supposed to happen. A minting error that turned ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. Kind of like accidentally printing money with a typo that makes it 1,000 times more valuable. Oops. In 2024, a verified 1981 P silver quarter sold for $845,000 at auction. That's not a typo. That's the power of rarity, condition, and demand converging. So why this quarter? Why now? There are 3 reasons these quarters are exploding in value. Scarcity. Only a few were ever struck on silver planchets. Authentication grading agencies now certify these rarities. Booming collector demand. With baby boomers and Gen Zers pouring billions into collectibles, silver era coins are red hot. This isn't just about coins. It's about lifestyle, legacy, and unlocking a life you didn't know you were this close to living. But here's the thing. Even the most perfect-looking quarter might be worth only 25 cents unless you know exactly what to look for. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. Look for the P Mint mark, located just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Next, check the weight. A silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams, more than the standard 5.67 g of clad coins. Use a digital scale. They're cheap and could make you rich. Finally, the ring test. Tap the quarter lightly with another coin. If it rings like a bell, not a dull clink, you might have silver. And if it doesn't ring, don't worry. You still have 24 more cents than most NFTs are worth. But here's the part that most people miss. If you find a match, don't sell to your local pawn shop. Don't list it on eBay for $100. Contact a certified coin dealer. Get it graded, insured, protected. Then let the bidding war begin. Because one right move could change everything. Your house, your retirement, your children's future. The next $1 million coin could be hiding in a box in your attic, a drawer in your kitchen, or a jar in your garage. So here's your next step. Subscribe, because in the next video, I'll reveal the top 5 quarter-dollar coins currently valued over $1,000,000, and you won't believe which years made the list. What if I told you that the 1983 P. George Washington quarter, something most people spent without a second thought, is now one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatic history? Before you cash in your old coins for coffee change, stop. You could be throwing away a retirement plan, a new home, or even a life-changing inheritance. 1983 was a monumental year. Michael Jackson's Thriller ruled the charts. The Cold War simmered. And in the U.S. Mint, a quiet mistake was made. A mistake that's now worth a fortune. This is the story of a humble coin, a hidden gem, and how it could become your golden ticket to wealth. Let's break this down. The 1983 P. George Washington quarter wasn't meant to be special. It wasn't made of silver. In fact, it was minted during a time when coin collecting was at a low, and quality control? Well, let's just say it had its off days. But here's the twist. A very limited batch of these quarters were struck on planchets intended for silver coins, possibly due to a leftover blank or a minting mishap. And today, collectors will pay up to $745,000 for one of these silver-clad anomalies, if it's in pristine condition and certified. But before you start flipping through your couch cushions, there's something else you need to know. Let's be real. Not every 1983 P quarter is worth a fortune. Some are just, well, worth a quarter. Kind of like that gym membership you never used. So what makes your quarter possibly worth 6 figures? 3 things: condition, minting error, and certification. First, if your coin looks like it just left the mint, no scratches, no smudges, it could qualify as MS65 or higher. That alone can boost its value dramatically. Second, if it has a distinct silver luster, unusual weight, or lacks the usual copper core, it may be a silver error coin. And that is your jackpot. But without the third piece of the puzzle, it's just a shiny coin. And that's where many go wrong. The third and most critical step: professional certification. Coins like this need to be graded by a trusted authority, like PCGS or NGC, to verify their authenticity and condition. Without it, your quarter is just a rumor. With it, it's an asset. Think of it like online dating. You need proof you're the real deal. No one's paying $745,000 for a blurry selfie of a quarter. So what now? Do you have one of these rare quarters sitting unnoticed in a coin jar, forgotten in a glove box, or tucked away in an old jewelry box you inherited? Because every day, people like you, parents, veterans, teachers, retirees, are discovering small treasures with massive value. And they're not just selling coins. They're buying freedom. They're paying off debt. They're starting over. And the next millionaire success story could start with a simple quarter in your hand. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Get your coins checked. Get them appraised. And most importantly, don't wait. Because every year, fewer of these rare quarters are found. And the next one could be yours. Your future might just be one coin away. Slow-motion spinning quarter footage of vintage coin collecting, minting process, animation, emotional testimonials, faceless, voiceovers, split-screen comparisons, valuable versus common quarter. Start with mystery and gravitas, shift to authoritative but warm and hopeful, inject light humor every 2 to 3 minutes for pattern interruption, end with inspiration and call to action. What if I told you that an old coin, one you might find in the back of a drawer, could be worth more than your car? No mint mark. 1966. George Washington silver quarter. Someone just sold one for a staggering $745,000, and another may go for millions. Do you even know what you're sitting on right now? And no, this isn't one of those find a unicorn and win the lottery stories. That it's about knowing what to look for and how a single coin could unlock your dream lifestyle. Think beach house. Think early retirement. Think freedom. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know if that old silver quarter you've ignored for years could make you a millionaire. Let's go back to 1966. The Vietnam War was raging, gas cost 32 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint had just made a major change. One that collectors would obsess over for decades to come. That year, quarters were supposed to be clad copper-nickel, not silver. But a small batch of coins, possibly even by mistake, was minted with silver planchets, similar to pre-1965 quarters. These coins had no mint mark, which makes them almost invisible to the untrained eye. It's like hiding a winning lottery ticket in a pile of parking receipts. Except this one doesn't expire. A man in Pennsylvania found one in his late father's coin jar. He had it appraised. It sold at auction $4,745,000, and experts believe that less than a dozen authentic 1966 silver quarters exist. So what makes this coin so valuable? Let's break this down, like an expert. First, the composition. Standard 1966 quarters are clad copper-nickel sandwich coins, but silver quarters weigh slightly more and have that distinctive ring when dropped. The metal content. A genuine 1966 silver quarter has 90% silver, just like the pre-1965 coins. The no mint mark mystery. Typically, Philadelphia minted coins didn't have a mint mark, but some argue these silver ones were struck using leftover silver blanks by accident, making them anomalies and thus ultra-valuable. Translation: if your coin is heavy, rings like a bell, and doesn't have a mint mark, you're not holding pocket change. You're holding a retirement plan. Some people have these coins and have no idea what they're worth, and unfortunately, some have even spent them, tossed them in vending machines, coin star buckets, or gave them to grandkids. So how do you know if your quarter is the real deal? Stay with me, because in just a minute, I'll show you exactly how to check and where to sell it for top dollar. Here's your step-by-step action plan. Search your coins. Look for 1966 Washington quarters with no mint mark. Use a digital scale. A silver quarter should weigh about 6.25 grams. Silver coins have a solid silver edge, no orange copper stripe. Get it verified. Don't guess. Go to a reputable coin appraiser or send it to PCGS or NGC. A certified grading can 10x the value of your coin. Sell it strategically. Don't sell to pawn shops. Go to specialty coin auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. List it on marketplaces like Great Collections or eBay only if you've verified authenticity. Think of it like dating. You wouldn't propose after one coffee, so don't sell your coin to the first guy who says, "I'll give you $50. Now here's where things get exciting. The current record sale for a 1966 silver quarter is $745,000. Experts believe another pristine specimen could hit over $1 million at auction in the next few years. So if you've got the right coin, you could be one of the last undiscovered millionaires in America. And here's the wild part. Another rare U.S. coin, far more common than you think, is now selling for even more than the 1966 quarter. I'll reveal that one in the next video. So hit that subscribe button, tap the bell icon, and turn your dusty old coins into gold. Most people think wealth comes from hard work, hustle, or luck. But sometimes, it comes from knowing what to look for. So go check your drawers. Call your parents. Ask your grandparents. Because that forgotten coin in the bottom of a jar might just be your ticket to financial freedom. What if I told you that hiding in your junk drawer, or rattling around in the cup holder of your car, could be a single quarter worth over $645,000? A 1990 mint mark George Washington silver quarter dollar. A coin that looks just like every other 25-cent piece, but could launch you into a life of wealth, freedom, and possibility. Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you why this ordinary-looking coin is turning ordinary Americans into overnight millionaires. Let me take you back to a dusty garage in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A 58-year-old retired machinist named Robert was sorting through an old coffee tin of coins his father had saved for decades. Among rusted pennies and faded dimes, he found a quarter.
A 1990 mint mark.
Looked normal, but something was off: the color, the weight, and the shine. Curious, he took it to an appraiser. 2 weeks later, that same coin was valued at over $645,000. That single moment changed everything. His mortgage, gone. Medical bills, handled. He's now restoring classic cars, his lifelong dream. Here's the kicker. There are still hundreds, if not thousands, of these rare quarters out there. Sitting in coin jars, sock drawers, or tucked into old wallets. Could one of them be in your home right now? By the way, When's the last time you actually looked at a quarter before using it to feed a parking meter? Yeah, me neither. But now, you'll look twice. So, what makes this quarter worth nearly $750,000? Let's break it down. The rarity factor, the 1990 D mint mark, was part of a rare misprint and composition anomaly. While most quarters that year were standard clad coins, a small batch, fewer than 1 in 10 million, were mistakenly struck using 90% silver planchets. That error turned them from currency into treasure. Only a handful have been discovered in mint state, MS67+ condition. Those are the true jackpots. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC assign these coins official value based on wear, luster, and strike clarity. The higher the grade, the higher the price point. One pristine example was auctioned $4,645,000, and rumors suggest another recently sold off market for even more. The market demand, collectors and investors are going wild for high-value errors and anomalies. In a world flooded with crypto scams and unstable stocks, rare physical assets like these coins offer a tangible, proven store of wealth. But here's where it gets really interesting, because some of these coins don't just sit in display cases. They're hiding in everyday circulation. That's how you can spot one, and exactly what to look for before you cash in a quarter for a pack of gum. All right, let's get you in treasure hunting mode. Here's your step-by-step guide to identifying the $1 million quarter. Look for the D mint mark. Flip the coin. You want to see a small D on the right side of Washington's ponytail. That's Denver Mint.
No de.
No deal. Silver shine test. Most quarters after 1965 are a copper-nickel clad. But silver quarters? Different sound, different weight, different gleam. Try a ping test. Silver sings. Weigh its silver quarters weigh about 6.25 grams, while clad coins are around 5.67 grams. A digital scale can be your best friend here. Get it graded. If it passes the test, don't guess. Send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A $30 grading fee could multiply into $600,000. And please, don't clean it with toothpaste. This isn't your grandma's silverware. Improper cleaning can slash the value by thousands. This isn't just about coins. It's about opportunity. A chance to pay off debt, retire early, support your family, or finally take that trip to Italy you've dreamed of for 20 years. So, what's it going to be? Will you let that shiny little piece of silver pass you by? Or will you start digging today? Because fortunes aren't always made on Wall Street. Sometimes, they're minted in Denver. Smash that like button if you're heading to check your change jar. And in the next video, we reveal 5 more rare quarters that could be worth even more than this one, including a coin from 1970 that's now classified as a national mystery.